Welcome in, Wednesday edition of Let's Talk About It. I am lucky enough to be joined by another guest, 2 guests in a row. He's trying to be like me with his crew neck.
All right.
Clearly, you can admit it, Jeff.
Nah, I mean,
this is Jeff, everyone.
What's going on, everybody?
Jeff, AKA Mini-Me.
Right. Did we coordinate? Did you look in my closet beforehand?
Yeah, this was not planned. It may look like it, but I don't know what happened. You were just like, yo, Taylor's great. I'm trying to be like her. It's the opposite. It's the opposite, but it's okay. We're happy to have you on our show.
Happy to be here.
So before we talk about all of the other topics, I think it's really important that we discuss Kendrick Perkins and his budding rivalry with The Voice.
Noted Voice.
Do you call it? Is it Adam Levine or Adam Levine?
I say Levine.
You say Levine? Because I've heard both. We guys say Levine all in here? Levine?
I would say it's Levine.
So Kendrick Perkins posts this on his Instagram. That was disgraceful and dead wrong for you guys to rob DeAndre Nico like that. How can you win a singing competition and don't sing? Please make me understand the logic behind that bullshit, ? Adam Levine, you pulled out your pocket knife and stabbed DeAndre Nico right in the back with that bullshit you pulled tonight. Adam Levine, you are a bullshit, I'm gonna say MFer for that ho shit. Excuse my language, everyone, but that was wrong. That is via Kendrick Perkins. The rivalry that we all were waiting for, Kendrick Perkins versus Adam Levine. What are your thoughts?
How you offer the leader of Maroon 5 the hands for The Voice?
And also, who knew Kendrick Perkins, avid Voice watcher?
And you know he was mad too because he said, I'm sorry for my language, but that was some whole shit that you did. I gotta get this off my chest.
I'm like,
did you know he watched it like that?
No, but I'm wondering, like, does he know DeAndre Nico? Like, is there something behind why he's going to bat?
He probably had money on him.
He's betting on The Voice.
He probably had money on him and he lost.
That's the new level of sports betting. We bet on singing competitions.
Right, we bet on everything.
I don't know, honestly, I hope that this works for Kendrick Perkins and he figures it out and him and Adam Levine can see each other in the
I hope
streets.
they piece it up, man. You know, you see what happened to Tupac, Biggie, all of that. We don't want any violence.
Let's not wish that on anyone.
Never,
Side note, Tupac is still alive.
He's in DR.
No, I think he's like maybe in Cuba.
Right,
but on to more pressing matters. Right now, everyone is talking about what Kevin Durant had to say about LeBron James. I put a disclaimer on this and say that quote was taken completely out of context.
Right.
Like, the story is so much longer, but the quote that is going around right now, KD was asked about just kind of the effect of LeBron, how LeBron's play forces other people to play differently, what it's like having LeBron on the team. And the quote right now is Kevin saying, I get why anyone wouldn't want to be in that environment because it's toxic. This was a sentence in a much broader conversation.
Of course.
KD also goes on to say that it's not LeBron's fault that it's this way, that fans and media are just kind of obsessed with LeBron, and he said that in some ways the media are fanboys when it comes to LeBron, and he talks about dealing with that environment in the locker room. And I think when you see it in that bigger context, you understand what he was saying, and not just that one sentence. But do you think that that sentence is true, that it maybe is hard to be on a team with the biggest superstar ever?
I mean, we've seen it throughout. If you've been on social media during the LeBron era, you know what happens. If he loses, it's Bron needs help. If he wins, it's Bron won everything for the team. So if I'm a vet that's trying to get a ring and just contribute to a team, yeah, you could take all that shine. That alleviates the pressure off of me. But if I'm a Kawhi, a KD, a budding superstar who can lead a team on his own, it's like high risk, high reward for you to team up with LeBron because you know your value may be diminished because he's like the eclipse of all eclipses in the NBA that just swallows the shine, not from his own on his own doing. It's just because
like it's not
he's
his
LeBron.
fault. Yeah.
Right, he's LeBron.
Yeah, and even within that same Bleacher Report story, the story is on Bleacher Report, I think Kyle Lowry is kind of quoting as saying, having LeBron on your team puts a lot of pressure on you, but it also takes a lot of pressure off of you. So there's two sides of the coin, but I think it's fair to say that any time you have a superstar on your team, there's a lot of media things that you do will be more scrutinized just because people care so much about this person.
Right.
Let's see. Heat Nation said KD is right. The media surrounding LeBron is terrible. It ain't got to be the media's fault, Heat Nation. No, but I mean, I understand what he's saying. It's just pressure. Like, for example, and I don't want to get into this because I think that it's an absurd thing and I don't believe in it. You know how people always talk about the Kardashian curse? It's something people always bring up. It's fake, and I hate that we've even put that on women in general.
It's been a thing, though.
But I think what the real thing is that when you're with people that garner so much attention, you're automatically gonna get caught up because people are always looking at you. And I think that's more so what it means, just like the effect of a superstar. And I think that's what I see with LeBron too. Like, there's the LeBron effect.
Right.
Like, you're going to be within this broader conversation because you're around somebody who literally drives the conversation.
Right. When wasn't that the argument about playing in big market cities like New York?
Yeah.
Why didn't anybody want to come to New York in any sport? Because the media will take you going out to get some fried chicken and not tipping a server as you being a terrible person, and that'll be something that's blown up out of proportion. But LeBron, he could be playing on Mars, he could be playing in Alaska, and all the media are gonna be there to put the shine on him, put the spotlight on him, and scrutinize your every move along with his.
Yeah, and like Alex Sousa says, another quote people use to hate KD, he's not dissing LeBron at all, he's just speaking the truth. I completely agree that it's not a diss to LeBron, and I think it was just the whole thing was a little taken out of context. Like,
I don't know about that whole used to, though, because there's a whole lot of y'all that be in our mentions that throw up the snake emojis at KD. And all of that.
Fans
so
diss him, I think, the same way that they feel like the media does, and I don't think either is fair.
No.
But it's definitely not I don't think it's a media thing, and I think that athletes also realize that when they say things, that they try to say other things to complement the things that they said, and he probably feels like, okay, I said so many other things, why is just this quote going around? So I see both sides, and I kind of feel for Kevin in this scenario. We have Don Pedraza says Durant is pairing up with Kawhi with the Clippers. He said, save my comment. We got you, Don.
Put your money up.
He said he comes from the future. And he said Durant goes to NYC. Okay, that doesn't make sense.
Don, I love you. You're a great commenter.
Don
I
says he goes to
appreciate your
Kawhi
future.
and goes to
I
New
appreciate
York?
that from your lips to God's ears. we need Durant. We need a lot of that.
I wouldn't be surprised if
Knicks though,
KD
not the
goes
Nets.
to,
Not the Nets. Not the Nets.
not the Nets.
Not the Nets. Please, not the Nets.
Wait, Gore says LeBron's one of the realest people in the NBA.
I believe
I
that.
can get with that.
Especially off the court, because we didn't have that a lot back then, where there was more people outspoken now than ever, and I think Bron is in a point now where he don't care.
Yeah.
He don't care what anybody says, so he's gonna speak.
But
his mind.
you can get there when you're LeBron. Like he has that luxury of being LeBron and saying what he wants. And not everybody gets there right away, but I totally agree. Okay, so sticking with the NBA, I think we definitely have to talk about Markelle Fultz.
Mr. Fultz.
That we now, I guess, allegedly have a diagnosis as to what has been wrong with him, thoracic outlet syndrome, who I think that we all learned what that was.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was.
I had heard about it a couple times just when I used to cover baseball. A lot of pitchers actually get thoracic outlet syndrome. Sometimes it can be resolved by rehabbing, and sometimes people elect to go get surgery. I think right now Markelle is going to stick with rehabbing, but the question is, do we think this is what's wrong? Can it be fixed? And are we finally at a place where we're going to see Markelle be everything that I'm sure he expected to be and everybody else expected him to be?
Well, first I'm thinking, how did they just come to this conclusion? You're a $1 million organization. You have all the best doctors at your disposal. How do you just figure this out now? Like, it went from his shoulder to his collarbone. Like, you have Sixers Twitter breaking down all these medical conditions and stuff that I don't know if you saw it. There was like a thread that was on
Reddit?
Twitter.
Twitter?
It's Reddit or Twitter, where there was a random doctor who had broke the story of Fultz. Like, somebody had posted from like a WordPress site, and then it mysteriously got deleted like the next day once all of this stuff broke out. So it's just very weird.
This is like Illuminati.
This is why the NBA is like peak best league, because this is the type of stuff that we get where it turns, it's law and order.
There's not one day without drama.
Yeah.
It's actually insane. It's like the most fun league ever. Okay, so King Oscar G says, I think he's having too much pressure on him, and secure the swag, so just give him time, he'll be back. I believe a lot of it is pressure. I think that it's been built up so much, and then like, remember when we first found out that he was having a really hard time shooting, and the media went to the practice, and it was like anytime he shot, they recorded it and posted it. And so even if he made a shot, all you saw was the really bad miss, and it looked like, oh my God, this is terrible. And I just think like he always has this pressure on him, whether it's like him at the free throw line, I'm trying to take the shot, like what is he doing today? Like there's always these questions, and I think this is more mental than it is physical, because you can't tell me someone can't make a free throw.
Right, and I think there is a mental aspect to it.
And I feel bad about that. Like, I hope that he is able to fix that.
Right.
That's something that I don't think should be made fun of, you know? We see all of these, like, memes and jokes about him at the free throw line, or like, how is he so bad? Like, if you had someone who was a top athlete and then right now they're feeling this, that isn't something that is physical.
Right.
It just logically does not make sense for it to be physical, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm not a doctor.
Right. Dr.
But,
Rooks.
yeah. Dr. Rooks actually kind of has a good ring to it.
But I will say, as someone like, I've had like a herniated disc in my neck before, and anybody who slept on the wrong side of the bed and your arm is dead, like those type of nerve-related issues, it has to make sense, because the way his like quirky moves at the free throw line, and it seems like almost like spasms, and that could be mental. But at this point, if that's what it is and that's what they figured out, it has to be something above mental. If there's a percentages, I would say it. At first, I thought it was like 70-30 mental, but now I can do 55-45, because I think once you rehab and you get over that, then it's like Paul George, when he broke his leg, he was saying that part of the rehab was being able to jump. Like, I didn't even want to jump. I do anything or play any ball after I saw that. I saw that live, you know? So I get it. I just hope he recovers, because I think there's still a good basketball player there.
Yeah, I think it's not fair to be like, oh, he can't play in the NBA, he's a bust. I don't believe all that right now. I just think like we're clearly seeing something wrong, and are we gonna grade people on their worst moment? Or are we gonna allow them to get to the best moment and then grade him? I'm fine with you feeling that way once we actually see the Markel we were actually supposed to see. But right now I just think it's too early to like label him all these other names that I don't really think have any credence right now.
Yeah, I think he's far from Anthony Bennett. You know what I mean? As far as like bust #1 picks, I think he'll be fine. Once they get over this, whatever it is, once they get over then we'll see.
I do think that he, regardless of what happens, being in Philadelphia isn't right for him.
You could do it after a couple of seasons, you think so?
I don't know. I don't think that he should be. I also think somewhere along the way, someone in the organization messed up. Like for it to just find out what happened now.
Oh, yeah.
This whole thing was handled terribly. He's kind of been thrown under the bus at times. I just don't think it's the right environment, especially if you're trying to get yourself right organizationally.
They definitely failed him in that regard. Like, this should have been discovered weeks ago, months ago. It's been speculation for this whole time.
Yeah. So, oh, wait. Chinny411 says Markel's struggling because organizations behind Simmons and Embiid. Now Redick and Jimmy. Also, while his shot is off, he can't play alongside Simmons because both can't shoot. I mean, I think that's a pretty good analysis of like what's happening.
But I also think if you ask Sixers fans process-wise, if somebody had to be sacrificed in order for them to be where they are, I hate it had to be him, but I think they're fine. You don't want to give up on him, but look at where they are now. And this isn't the first time they've dealt with injuries to their people.
And look at this. Joey says, I'm a physio. Now, obviously, we have not fact-checked this person. We don't know if he actually is a physio. Let me say that. But according to this comment, it says, I'm a physio. Thoracic outlet syndrome isn't serious. They just throw the neurogenic in front of it to make it look serious. They're just trying to keep him out of the lineup.
Hey.
Like I said, I don't know. I don't know, but
I'm not a doctor.
But I'm liking these comments though. Okay, so for the last thing, let's move on to some college football.
All right.
Obviously, Kelly Bryant, the former Clemson quarterback, is now going to transfer to Mizzou, which good for you. I'm all about people doing whatever is best in their situation. But the reason that I wanted to discuss this is more so I don't like the comparisons that we're having between him and Jalen Hurts, and almost painting Jalen Hurts to be like this sympathetic character, and he's being romanticized because he decided to stay at a school when it wasn't going bad for him, and then Bryant being criticized that he decided to leave a school because it wasn't going the way that he thought, and I don't think that's fair. I think that both things can be right.
Right.
And we expect a lot of these kids to say, you know what, I'm in a position that is not right for me, but I said I was gonna do this, I'm gonna stick around. We don't even do that in life. You know, like, we don't even do that in our everyday lives. We expect kids to do this in a situation that is literally going to affect the path, like, forever. You know, we saw when Jalen was starting in Alabama, I think he went like 25-2. Then, you know, when he went out, we saw Tua come in. He killed it. They had a quarterback competition in the offseason. Jalen ended up losing that position, but he said, you know what, I'm gonna stick around, my time is gonna come. He got that time when we saw him, sadly, beat Georgia. And then on the flip side, with Bryant, you know, he led Clemson to, you know, an ACC championship. He won, I think, like 12 games. He led them to a playoff appearance. And then he lost his starting job, and he said, I'm gonna handle it differently. Two separate paths, not one is wrong.
Right.
And I hate that we just keep comparing them, and we like criticize so many players for deciding to transfer teams.
Well, you have to look at who's comparing them, right? Why would it be beneficial to compare the model athlete that stays despite his struggle to the person that's taking charge of their own destiny? You know, they like to pick and choose when to emphasize the student part of the student athlete and the athlete part of the student athlete.
Whenever it fits their narrative.
Right, of course. And here's the thing. In life, especially if you work, right? If you want to leave your job because you feel like you're underutilized, you're not being appreciated, or you're just not making, you would leave. Everybody, it's the same thing with KD, it's the same thing with everything. Why would you not? People transfer from schools for less.
Yes.
People transfer to pledge fraternities and sororities. People transfer because this school might be easier in their degree. Why not transfer if I want to be in the NFL? And I know I'm gonna have a better chance. Why not leave? These coaches do it all the time.
Exactly.
Why can't the players do it?
And keeping in mind that you're making a decision when you're what, like 18?
Right.
You know, and so you have this decision you made 18 years old impacting everything. And at 18, like, I don't think I could have made every single right decision in the world. No. My mind changed when I was 19, 20. My mind changed when I was 18 and a half. You know what I mean? So that's just life, and I hate all the pressure that we put on college students when they decide they want to leave for a better situation. MacFit Performance says there's no loyalty in professional sports at all. Yeah, I don't think there's loyalty in professional sports, amateur sports. People like to feel like athletes owe them something, that they have a responsibility to the fans, when in all honesty, they really truly just have responsibility to themselves. There's right ways to go about it, there's respectful ways to go about it, and as long as you do those things, you continue to be a good person in the decisions you make. It's not on us to police someone's situation, because the only people that really knows what happens in a situation are the people within that situation. Sensei Fuego says that's what's best for him. I agree. But Secure the Swag, who this is like his second comment, what's up, Secure the Swag, says Kyler Murray is that guy, which makes me ask you who deserves the Heisman. If we saying Tua, Kyler, or Dwayne Haskins?
If we're talking about body of work, it's gotta be Tua. You know, it's like if you're doing well in the class and you just so happen to botch the final, I don't think it should bring you down to like a C. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the SEC title game. Yeah, he went out, but we can't forget every other thing that he did. Would I be surprised if Kyler Murray won? No, because the Heisman voting and all of that is completely crazy to me. It's like, it's almost like politics and stuff like that. But
okay,
literally,
so you say, I'm assuming you say Alabama's the best team.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you say Tua is the best team on best player on Alabama?
Right now, yeah. I would say right now.
So you think Tua
overall,
is the best player on the best team?
Yeah.
Would that make him the Heisman winner?
It would make him the Heisman winner. And but the thing is, it's what have you done for me lately, right?
Yeah.
So people may see that SEC title game and say, oh, he let Jalen come back and take his job. But then look at Kyle. That's why the odds now are he's the favorite in Vegas, which means Vegas is setting y'all up. Vegas is setting y'all up. Y'all better put the money on Tua now. But that's where I see it. I just think for the body of work, it's Tua.
Okay. Now I do think, as sports media, I think we kind of inherently have a bias, meaning you think the person is the best, probably who's the person you've watched the most. So while I recognize Tua probably is a better player, I've watched Dwayne Haskins the most, and I'm like, he's so good. he should win, you know, and so I kind of pick Haskins, but I totally understand why it should be Tua.
Yeah, and if you check out our IG, we're gonna have a bunch of videos stating the cases for those 3 players.
Plug!
So,
Look at the plug!
You know, I'm here for a good time, not a long time, you know what I'm saying?
No, you're here to copy me with your shirt.
All right.
Clearly.
All right.
In the comments, who wore it better?
No, don't do that. No, yo, because you already know. Like, nah. Don't set me
Who
up
wore
like
it
that.
better? Who?
Wild guess who's gonna win. Wild guess who's gonna win.
Because all I know is I picked this outfit first, and then I saw you strolling in here, okay, in my color.
I'm not gonna hold you. I picked this
Hey,
out
we got
last
some
minute.
Taylors, we got some you, okay?
Nobody's gonna save me.
Thank
It's
you.
gonna be like 95.5.
Thank you,
And the
okay.
5 is gonna be my family. That's
Hey,
why
you
I did
know
this
what?
right
Secure
now.
the Swag is like my favorite person because
Oh yeah.
he
You just made
keeps
his day.
commenting and he said I wore it better.
Secure the Swag. You won 2018.
Shout out Secure the Swag. Thank you guys. We got a Jeff. We got a Jeff.
Let me see if I. Oh, okay. I don't know them, so it counts. It
We got a
counts.
Jeff. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
We get say some people are saying the BR sweater, you know.
I mean, I'm cheating because I got the logo
It's
on.
about 50-50. But it's really me. Thank you for joining us on
Thank
the
you.
show today.
All right.
And the IG Live will be back tomorrow at noon.
Later.